All right, everyone. Lastly, we're going to take a look at our plant cell and take a look at how cell respiration and photosynthesis work together along with the mitochondria and the chloroplast. So if we look at our notes here, we already know that, if I can get a highlighter here, we already know that the outputs of photosynthesis here, oxygen and glucose, are the inputs of cellular respiration, which occur in the mitochondria. So the way that these guys work together is that the outputs of photosynthesis, these guys are going to go straight into the mitochondria from the chloroplast. So if we were to model photosynthesis, we know that one output is oxygen and another one is glucose. I'm going to just do a quick drawing or a quick coloring here to help me remember which of these things we're looking at. So green here is our chloroplast, and pink is our mitochondria. So I'm going to be focusing in on these two sections here. And if I take a look at these two sections, we are really focusing here on the oxygen. So we know that, again, in chloroplasts, oxygen is an output of photosynthesis. So we know that oxygen is leaving the chloroplast. Okay, so I'm going to draw that. Oxygen, and I'm going to say oxygen out here, out of our chloroplast. We also know that oxygen is an input of cellular respiration in the mitochondria. So this oxygen is going to leave our chloroplast and it's going to head right into O2 right into our mitochondria here. Okay, so oxygen immediately leaves the chloroplast and enters the mitochondria. The second thing that we need to take a look at here is our glucose. Again, we know that our glucose right here is an output of this process of photosynthesis happening in the chloroplast. So I know that I'm going to draw another arrow here. Exiting my chloroplast, we have glucose. So we have glucose out. And we also know that glucose is an input of cellular respiration happening in the mitochondria. So that glucose can head right into our mitochondria. I will write glucose in here. And so we see that regardless of what we have coming in and out of the mitochondria, these two things, the glucose and the oxygen, because the glucose and oxygen are an output of this process of photosynthesis. Remember, photosynthesis happens here. Synthesis. The outputs of that happen to be the inputs of our process of cellular respiration, which is happening here. So in plant cells, the photosynthesis happens first. The cell respiration then uses the outputs of photosynthesis to make cellular respiration run and to produce the water, the carbon dioxide, and the ATP. That also means that if we, let me get a big orange marker here, if we increase the rate of photosynthesis, we are increasing the rate of glucose and oxygen out, which means we are increasing the rate of glucose and oxygen into the mitochondria, which means we are increasing the rate of cellular respiration. Okay, so by increasing photosynthesis, we are increasing cellular respiration.